Hello, my lovely friends. How is everyone doing today? Welcome back for week 2 of cybersecurity times. There's stuff on my glasses. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna go grab my my glasses cloth. Oh, hello, Henry. Welcome, welcome. It's great to see you. How you doing? It's been ages. Congratulations on your streak, Lurky Duck. I'd say envious of your work from home on Tuesday, but I think that I don't know if I get to say that I work from home anymore. Thank you. I love my PBS sign. I had a very fun time coloring it this weekend. I don't have a color printer, so I printed it out with very, very faint lines and then hand lettered it like a fucking dork. I love PBS. That phrase is stuck in my head eternally. This program was made possible by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm doing all right. It's been, last year was kind of just a wild year in general, and then, unshockingly, the beginning of this year has also had some interesting twists and turns. But overall, life is pretty great. You have a Cricut. You should get set up to make signage for yourself and your friends. I found a bunch of your Cricut stuff. So, from when I was helping you move. So, remind me, and I will find them for you. But yeah. So, welcome back to week 2 of cybersecurity times. Today is another vocab day, and specifically, we are focusing on the difference between digital privacy and the difference between privacy and security, and whether or not those are interchangeable. Hint, they're not. And whether or not you have to sacrifice one for the other. Hint again, you don't. In most situations, at least. So, yeah. And just as a quick reminder of how our schedule works, we're going to do some vocab today. Tomorrow, we will do a reading day. So we'll actually read the chapter from the book Firewalls Don't Stop Dragons. Then on Friday, we will do a session where we are working on some sort of assignment or way to improve your security together. So that's the plan. And with that, I'm going to start screen sharing so that we can start doing vocab. Boop-a-doop. Hey, Analog. Welcome to stream. How you doing? Also, OBS is being super weird. Come on, let me click. There we go. What the heck is going on? It's claiming that I already have this window open, which I don't. That one work? No. One moment. Please hold. Haha! There we go. We love it when things just magically start working for no apparent reason. Okay. Winter is proof that industrialization was a bad idea. I mean, yeah. I really miss the idea of having... I wish I lived in a time... That's probably not true. I feel sorrow that we lost the concept as a society that the year doesn't exist between January and February. I like that portion of the year just being outside of the calendar. That's pretty cool. I wish we could go back to that. Yeah, doop doop doop. Okay, so looking at that, we did the threat model. We're gonna copy the format for this because I'm lazy. 2 months of no time sounds excellent. So week 2 definitions. Hopefully it'll make it easy to delete all of those. And then all of these. Okay, so gonna go back to my handy dandy notebook. Not notebook, my handy dandy stack of flashcards. Take off the top because that is where all of the ones from last week are. So security. Let's do a definition of security. Privacy. ISP. Internet Service Provider. ISP. FCC. A lot of acronyms this week. Then we could have 12 4-week months and then 4-ish weeks of void time. Yes. Would also would just make like our calendar make more sense, right? That seasons are for different things and we should respect the boundaries of those seasons enforced on our metaphysical landscapes. I agree. We also would need to have some sort of structure for like shifting, because that's an issue that like every historical society ran into, is at some point their like idea of when the seasons, or many historical societies, I probably shouldn't say all because I'm not sure. What was I saying? Oh, but like having some mechanism by which you can like change and update your calendar's idea of what seasons are would be very helpful, because like one of my roommates and I have actually been talking about this. We want to start keeping like a weekly, we said daily, but probably, if we knowing us, a weekly calendar of like, does this day feel like, what season does this day feel like? Because like yesterday was the first day where it felt like fall. I'm totally lost in my brain. I think I'm just going to exit. It would just be cool to like, not fall, winter, sorry. First day that it felt like winter was like yesterday or the day before. Yesterday. But it's like mid-January. Winter was supposed to start in December. What is going on? So I think it would be fun to like do that for a year and see how our perception of the seasons actually map to the seasons. I think it would also be fun, like Watson, you're living near here now. You are from a colder clime, so it would be interesting to see how your perceptions of the seasons differ from mine. Real-time bidding. Data brokers. Good old data brokers. We love them. We have more vocab for this week, just because there's more stuff that got gone over. It felt like early autumn for like 2 months. Yeah, same. Aw, my tea tastes like water with like hints of flour. Very sad. Cambridge Analytica. scandal. I'm also excited because the vocab this time actually gets us to read fun articles and interesting things versus last time it was, like a bunch of boilerplate stuff. Winter is when going outside in a t-shirt feels worse than entering a cold room in a t-shirt. It's not even hot leaf juice, though. It's like hot flower juice. Panopticon. Data fiduciary. That is not spelled properly. Fiduciary. Funny word. Flowers are not pretentious leaves. I disagree. Flowers are a portion of the reproductive system of a plant. It's like fruit. Flowers are not leaves. They're very different. Do not slander. Do not slander my flower tea. Flowers are plants trying to look sexy. Also true. Oh God, I don't know if I can do a radio voice. Thank you, listeners. Apparently, radio voice sits slightly up behind the nose. It's a little more nasal. Also a little lower. That's interesting. You seeing this at home, folks? Next up, we've got differential privacy. We will cut to our textbook for the answers to what that is. Heaven knows I don't know. That's not entirely true. I also really need to adjust the sensitivity of my mic because it is quite bad at picking me up, and that is part of the reason why it has taken so long for me to get my YouTube videos uploaded of these VODs, because I've had to do a lot of post-processing. Put the mic right next to my face and speak really softly for the perfect NPR voice. Thank you. Does that sound better? NPR soft-spoken hosts are a vibe. Yeah, I 100% sound like an NPR host. Thank you for tuning in to Up First. Good to know. This is an easier trick than what I was trying to do before. Doesn't sound too ASMR-y? I guess most people don't mind ASMR. ASMR makes my skin crawl in very uncomfortable ways. So I try to avoid that particular kind of whisper. I had a teacher in high school, my statistics teacher, who specifically, there was this NPR section that was like sounds of the city that we lived in. He really, really, really wanted us to get on NPR. And so he had us for like 10 minutes just sit and roll dice for a statistics project that we were doing. And he just recorded the classroom and sent it in to NPR for this section. I don't think so. I don't think it got selected. Cool. That is the end of the vocab that I have written down for this chapter. So today's gonna be a long one. I wonder if he tried it every year. I don't know. I'm not sure. I would not be surprised. He was if he got his mind set on something, he would pursue it to no end, or pursue it without end. This is a man that accidentally got a major in math. He did not. He just kind of took classes, and then his fourth year, they were like, okay, you've been here for 4 years. You've been undeclared for 4 years. We'd like you to graduate. What do you have enough credits to graduate in? And he had just accidentally gotten a full degree in mathematics. Oh, fun. I've never seen a D20 with negative numbers. I have this very weird D20 that's labeled such that it can be used as a D12. But also as a D20. It's a weird one. Okay, so let's decide where we want to start. Let's Google the definition of security. Freedom from risk or danger, safety. Whereas privacy, the quality or condition of being secluded from the presence or view of others, the state of being free from public attention or unsanctioned intrusion. I hope your face is not a D12. We're going to go with this definition. Protection of a person, building, organization, or country against threats such as crimes or attacks. Messing up my formatting. Protection of a person, crime, building, such as threats, crime, or attacks. Okay, and let's see what Cambridge says for privacy. I don't remember. I can show you the die sometime. It's very weird. It's a weird die. It's labeled in strange ways, which include plus marks to indicate particular faces. I don't hate that one. The state of being alone. The right to keep one's personal matters and relationships private. The right that a person has to keep their personal life or personal information secret or only known to a small group of people. Yeah, I'll have to find it again, because it's at the bottom of my dice jar, is my guess, or my dice bag. I have 2 different dice bags that I got from my father. Oop, that's not what I wanted. Nope, I just wanted the one section. Thank you. The right that a person has to keep their personal life or their personal information secret or only known to a small group of people. So already we can probably see why the NSA and other similar government agencies have a motive to convince you that you have to give up privacy for security. But you don't. Internet service provider. You know examples of these: AT&T, Comcast. But let's look for specific definitions. We're also going to be talking about specific tiers of internet service providers in the future. Hopefully. Probably during our networking week. Yeah, so this lovely image. We don't have a strong, we do not know for certain which networks are tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3, because those designations are given based on whether or not a particular internet service provider has to pay money to use another internet service provider's network. If they don't have to pay money, I believe that makes them a tier 1 network. Hope I don't have that flipped. Yeah, tier 1 ISPs are wild. Because originally with ARPANET, you didn't have to, if you were an academic organization, you didn't have to pay. You could just join. And it was when the internet started being privatized that they were like, hey, you people who are trying to make money off of our cool thing, you have to pay to participate. Gimme. Yeah, so an ISP is, in simple terms, an organization that provides services for accessing, using, managing, or participating in the internet. That provides services for participating in, using, maintaining, accessing, etc., the internet. Let's see if there's anything I want to highlight here. I'll give you some nice flavor. So yeah, the internet, originally ARPANET, was developed as a network between government, research laboratories, and participating departments of universities. Other companies and organizations joined by direct connection to the backbone. So the original set of connected things. Some using dial-up, etc. By the late 1980s, a process was set in place towards public commercial use of the internet. Some of the restrictions to joining ARPANET were removed in 1991, shortly after the introduction of the World Wide Web, which, as you will know if you have been hanging around, is different than the internet. Internet versus World Wide Web. World Wide Web is specifically the decentralized connection of a bunch of web pages. So a bunch of internet that you can view like this. If you access it through a browser, it's probably part of the World Wide Web. If you don't access it through a browser, if you access it some other way, like through a terminal, or the World Wide Web displays HTML sites. That's the connection. That is what the World Wide Web is for, is displaying HTML sites, and those HTML sites can link to, exclusively. And PHP, sure, yes, apologies. PHP came later. No, no. We're going to hop over to the World Wide Web website. Because I'll be able to point at things and read quotes that will help me explain this better. Yeah, you can make HTML, yes. So you could write your notes on your computer in HTML. But if you are serving them up to the internet, you are if you are hosting them as a website, it is part of the World Wide Web. If your HTML page is being served up to the internet as a website, it is part of the World Wide Web. If it's www, it's either going to be HTML or PHP. I think those are the only two. Yeah. So the World Wide Web is an information system that allows content sharing over the internet through user-friendly means. It allows documents and other web resources to be accessed over the internet according to the specific rules of HTTP. So things that can be sent over HTTP. Let's see what can be sent over HTTP. Okay, I'm going to read this section because it offers important clarification and correction to what I just said. The original and still very common document type is a web page formatted in HTML. This markup language supports plain text, images, embedded video and audio contents, and scripts that implement complex user interaction. It also supports hyperlinks, which provide immediate access to other web resources. Web navigation, or web surfing, is a common practice of following such hyperlinks across multiple websites. Web applications are web pages that function as application software. The information in the web is transferred across the internet using HTTP. Multiple web resources with a common theme, and usually a common domain name, make up a website. Yes, but this is not an inclusive definition. We probably do want to define HTTP. Okay, we'll add it to the list. The problem with defining HTTP is that I have to explain the OSI model of the internet. And I don't want to yet. I want to save that for next week. Okay. What definition of HTTP do I want to provide? Could put things on the list, but skip them right now. That's fair. I am going to go ahead and grab the definition of World Wide Web. Information system that enables the widespread distribution of internet content through user-friendly means by way of the HTTP protocol. Yeah, we'll come back to define HTTP and HTML. FCC, this is important for discussions of internet regulation. The FCC is the Federal Communications Commission. The FCC is responsible for overseeing a number of things, including television networks, radio. I don't know why I'm just talking off the top of my head. I literally have a list here. Yeah. Just gonna steal this. Gonna put it up here and type it though, because that's a lie. I'm not. It is government. It's a U.S. government agency. I think it was founded in, when was it founded? 1934. And the internet was transferred to its jurisdiction in 1996 by the Telecommunications Act. Yeah, no, they aren't. If the FCC was the W3C, then maybe they would have been, but they aren't. In 1938, is that correct? Or was it 34? 1934. Was granted jurisdiction over the internet by the Telecommunications Act of 1996. Sometimes government agencies do good things. Gonna disagree with you there. Often they make a mess of things, but not always. We have governments for reasons. Super cookies. This is a weird one that I knew about, but I didn't realize it had a name. And I hate it. So these are things that, I mean, a number of different sorts of organizations can attach them to you, but ISPs in particular recently, as in 2014, got in trouble for this. We should define what cookies are first. Delicious. What are cookies? Cookies are small files of information that a web server generates and sends to a web browser. The web browser then stores these cookies for a predetermined period of time, or for the length of a user session on a website. They were one of the very first implementations of state for websites, so that, like, if you refreshed a page, you wouldn't lose your spot on it, that kind of thing. So, cookies. Small chunks of information generated by a web server and sent to a web browser to store information for a predetermined amount of time. Do super cookies grant superpowers? Am I on Linux right now? No. I am on a Unix-based system. I am running macOS right now. But we do some, or will be doing some development over in Linux. I am probably going to be doing, still haven't decided on what distro I want to go with. I've been thinking of doing a Debian distro, just because haven't tried that flavor yet. But yeah, right now we are doing our vocab day for our cybersecurity module. this week we are focusing on the difference between security and privacy. And then starting next week, we're going to be starting to get into more technical stuff. Debian is your favorite Linux. Why? Why is Debian your favorite Linux? Also, I feel very blessed. Thank you, one and true God, for stopping by my small channel. I'm not sure what we did to deserve your attention, but, you know, we are here. We're doing things. OpenBSD. So I have a little soft spot in my heart for SUSE, even though I have once again never used it. Because why do you do this to me, Watson? I don't deserve this. Now I sound like a goat from Babe. God damn it, Watson. I will go grab some more water.
Oh, dearie. Here, we'll try this as an old lady voice. We'll do this one up here. It's a little differently placed.
Also, Axiom, thank you for the follow. So I have a soft spot in my heart for SUSE, just because. So during my undergrad, I did an internship for Home Depot, and they decided to just like try to combine all of their like representation into like one intern hire. So they had a responsibility. They started backing this open source project called Cloud Foundry, which is a platform as a service kind of thing. So started backing this this project called Cloud Foundry. And one of the requirements for being a bronze tier partner of Cloud Foundry is that they needed to supply engineers to work on it, at least some portion of their time. And they decided to stick one of their undergraduate interns on it to fulfill that requirement. I was a second year, so sophomore. And they decided, you know, we'll have her work on open source. She's a woman, looks like a woman at least. We think she's a woman. And she's in tech. So awesome. Checks all of our boxes. And so they sent me to a conference in Boston where I was supposed to present on what it was like onboarding and starting work in an open source community. Also, like, what's Home Depot's internship program like? So they sent me 2 weeks before the conference. The person who I was supposed to like do the talk with quits. So my boss, who has been like MIA most of the time, just quits and is like, cool, have a good time on the conference on your own. Home Depot does wind up sending someone else with me who I've never met before. We do wind up doing the talk together and it's fine. But they also, like, all of the people from Home Depot that went left early. Like, they stayed for the talk and then left, but Home Depot had, like, had me staying there for the entire conference. And so I just kind of got abandoned in Boston at this conference. And the SUSE team that was tabling there kind of adopted me because I had played chess with them some on the first day. and they adopted me and like took me around Boston and fed me and like made sure that I met interesting people. So yeah, I have a soft spot for SUSE, even though I've never used it. My introduction to Linux was probably, what was my introduction to Linux? Let me check. Okay, so my introduction to Unix-based systems was Oracle Solaris. My introduction to Linux was Ubuntu, closely followed by Fedora and Mint, and then CentOS. CentOS is the one that I have the most experience with. Your introduction to Linux was your network assignment in your master's. Oof! That's a rough one. That's just throwing you off the deep end, isn't it? Oh, Ubuntu is Debian. Okay, cool. My apologies. I should have known that. Yeah, I've lived mostly over in the CentOS space just because I worked in the defense industry for a short period of time. But oh, you guys can't see my screen. Why are you not letting me click on anything? Enjoy your lurk, Analog. We will still be doing definitions when you get back. Okay. The heck? What? What the heck? Something has gone very wrong. Whatever, I'll deal with it later. Okay. Real-time bidding. This is a super interesting thing that I think a lot of people don't know about how ads are served up on the internet. Did I have a particular article that I wanted to read to y'all about this one? Let's see. No, I didn't. So basically what happens when you go to a website that has ads is, when you go to a website that has ads, what happens is that website will like send to a bunch of advertisers as much information as they have on you. And then very, very quickly, the advertisers will bid to say who gets to serve you an ad. And the person that bids the highest amount winds up serving up the ad, or winds up being able to display the ad to you. And this happens in like fractions of a second. Is that like attention broker things? What do you mean by attention broker? I think attention broker I would use more to describe like platforms themselves, like Facebook or Instagram or TikTok. Um, I would call those like major platforms an attention broker because they are a thing that captures human attention and therefore has the ability to sell it at a premium. And one of the ways that they sell it at a premium is via real-time bidding. So related concept, but I wouldn't necessarily intermingle them. They aren't quite the same thing, but they're parts of the same idea. The advertisers bid based on that info for ad space. Decision is made in fractions of a second. Data brokers. These are people who sell access to data. Or entities that sell access to data. There might be a more strict legal definition, so I want to check to see if we have those. Mostly from public records, yada yada. In the United States, there is no federal regulation protection for consumers from data brokers. Welcome back from your lurk. Entities that specialize in accumulating and selling access to data about people. And I'm going to grab a list of examples from the United States because we will probably look into them at a later date. Project Nightingale. I am so concerned by whatever it is that my computer is doing with this Google Doc. It's like duplicating one of the pages, and I'm finding it very distressing. So give me 1 second. I'm going to try to fix it so that it doesn't look weird to me. Why? Last Week Tonight with John Oliver did a great introduction on data brokers and personal privacy. They did, yeah. I highly recommend that that special. Analog, if you happen to have a link to it and would be willing to post it over in the Discord on the in the thing that's dedicated for this topic, I would really, really appreciate that. Otherwise, I'll try to collect it. I'll try to find it post stream and post it there. It's like duplicating a page. I should just get over it. It's fine. I just need to just not pay attention. I'll show you. I'll complain about it one more time. What it's doing is I have this page, which is page like 6 in my document, and it's duplicating it onto page 9 to 8 and 9. It's duplicating my pages 6 and 7, and I don't know why. There's no reason for it to be doing that. But oh well, it is. And only one of them is editable at a time. And I just kind of have to guess. Anyway, we're going to look at what Project Nightingale is. I'm excited. Project Nightingale is a data storage and processing project by Google Cloud and Ascension, which is a Catholic healthcare system comprising of 2,600 hospitals. This was Google tried to get a foothold in the healthcare industry, and straight up just like bought a bunch of data from a hospital, and the hospital gave it and like super violated HIPAA. How did this resolve? Haha, we're going to read this. Back in 2019, federal inquiry has been opened into Google's efforts to collect health data on millions of Americans through its Project Nightingale program. The Department of Health and Human Services Office for Civil Rights opened the inquiry on Tuesday, the Wall Street Journal reported. The office would like to learn more about this mass collection of individuals' medical records with respect to the implications for patient privacy under HIPAA. Director Roger Severino said in a statement to CNN Business. The data collection is being done through a new partnership between Google and Ascension, one of the company's largest nonprofit and Catholic health systems. The two companies confirmed they were working together to analyze patient data and give healthcare providers new insights and suggestions for patient care. The Wall Street Journal was the first to cite, the first to report on the project on Monday. The partnership between Google and Ascension will integrate Ascension's different areas of health data in the cloud. Google said in its blog post on Monday that the project was a business arrangement to help a provider with latest technology, similar to the work we do with dozens of other healthcare providers. The journal reported that at least 150 Google employees had access to patient data, but Google said it's adhering to regulatory standards, such as HIPAA. Google said Ascension's data cannot be used for any purpose other than providing these services we're offering under the agreement, and patient data cannot and will not be combined with any Google consumer data. Shortly after the journal's report was published, both companies put out statements. Google acknowledged the sensitive nature of patient health data. Ascension, which is based in St. Louis, has 2,600 facilities in roughly 24 states. It said its partnership with Google followed the law, but the journal reported some Ascension employees questioned how Google is sharing and collecting patient data. This isn't the first time Google has faced scrutiny for its handling of user data. Google paid a record $170 million penalty to the FTC to settle accusations that YouTube broke the law when it knowingly tracked and sold ads targeted to children. Google's push to healthcare comes amid growing interest in the space from tech companies such as Apple, Amazon, and Microsoft. All three companies have launched initiatives to modernize the U.S. healthcare system in recent years. If anybody wants to get me access to this super cool Wall Street Journal article, I don't remember what the magical thing to type is that tends to grant that. Nope. Cool. I would love this article. If you happen to have the Wall Street Journal and feel like printing it out on PDF, feel free. I'll post a link here. Wayback Machine typically works. Cool. I used to use Google Translate, but the Wayback Machine for the Wall Street Journal specifically, the Wall Street Journal is really good at blocking against that these days. Let's get to the news.
Damn.
Oh well. Deal between Google and Ascension, nonprofit network of 2,600 Catholic hospitals in U.S. to provide user data to help Google develop out its medical wing. Wing, Nightingale. Okay, Cambridge Analytica. Let's do a real reading on this, because it's exciting. Do we want to do a nice spicy article by the New York Times? No. Okay. We're gonna do the overview. In the 2010s, personal data belonging to millions of Facebook users was collected without their consent by a British consulting firm, Cambridge Analytica, predominantly used for political advertising. The data was collected through an app called This Is Your Digital Life, developed by data scientist Alexander Kogan and his company Global Science Research in 2013. The app consisted of a series of questions to build psychological profiles on users, and collected personal data from the user's Facebook friends via Facebook's Open Graph platform. The app harvested the data of up to 87 million Facebook profiles. Cambridge Analytica then used the data to provide analytical assistance to the 2016 presidential campaigns of Ted Cruz and Donald Trump. Cambridge Analytica was also widely accused of interfering in the Brexit referendum, though the official investigation recognized that the company was not involved beyond some initial inquiries and that no significant breaches took place. Information about data misuse was disclosed in 2018 by Christopher Wiley, a former Cambridge Analytica employee, in interviews to The Guardian and The New York Times. In response, Facebook apologized for their role in the data harvesting, and their CEO Mark Zuckerberg testified in front of Congress. In July 2019, it was announced that Facebook was going to be fined $5 billion by the Federal Trade Commission due to its privacy violations. In October 2019, Facebook agreed to pay a £500,000 fine to the UK Information Commissioner's Office for exposing the data of its users to a serious risk of harm. In May 2018, Cambridge Analytica filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy. Other advertising agencies have been implementing various forms of psychological targeting for years, and Facebook had patented a similar technology in 2012. Nevertheless, ooh, that's spicy. I want to read that. Nevertheless, Cambridge Analytica's method for their high-profile clients, including the Trump presidential campaign and the UK's Leave.eu campaign, brought the problems of psychological targeting that scholars have been warning against to public awareness. The scandal sparked an increased public interest in privacy and social media's influence on politics. The online movement #DeleteFacebook trended on Twitter. Overview. Alexander Kogan, a data scientist at the University of Cambridge, was hired, an offshoot of the SEL group. Cambridge Analytica then arranged an informed consent process for research in which several 100,000 Facebook users would agree to complete a survey for payment that was only for academic use. However, Facebook allowed this app not only to collect personal information from survey respondents, but also respondents' Facebook friends. That is the kicker. Your security affects my security. Advertising, UK-based advertising agency. Collected personally identifiable information on so many users. How many users? on up to 89 million users. Via Facebook, as Facebook enabled them to access info not only on those folk who consented, but also on the Facebook friends of all consenting folk. This collected data was used to assist a number of political campaigns for targeted ads, including the 2016 Trump campaign and to a smaller extent, the Leave.eu campaign. Brexit. Okay. Cookie settings. Turn off anything that isn't a strictly necessary cookie. Woo! Wish we didn't have to do that constantly. Wish that was just done by default. I am going to read this article later and see if it is worth it to bring up on stream. Markers / super cookies. These are like cookies that markers are basically cookies that your ISP can put on you to track overall information about your usage. Yeah, it's super shitty. Cookies should be opt-in, not opt-out. Tracker that something like your ISP can put on you, can use to understand, to track and understand your web usage across many websites over time. It's like a cookie, but rather than it being enclosed to a particular website, it's across all of them. It's anything that they can see. I really wish it wasn't doing this. I'm going to try to get it to stop by, maybe if I change the page setup. Did that fix it? Oh, sweet, that fixed it. Let's switch back and see if it stays fixed. Nope. So we're going to go to pageless for a while. Alrighty. Next up, we've got reverse location search warrants. These are also really slimy. Google gives these. If you remember, you'd think that, after, 50 years of doing it, we'd have figured out word processing by now? Yeah, we're going to read this Guardian article. The new warrant. How U.S. police mine Google for your location and search history. Let's see if we can find something that's not from The Guardian. Yeah, let's go with something that's actually from a law program. Oh, nope. Oh no. Oh no. That's too long. Do I have... Here. This one's good. Don't you love that we have to do this on every single website we go to? And notice that I take the time to do it, because it's important. And look, it has the Allow All button in the corner. This is a dark web pattern. Dark web pattern being something that, or a dark pattern being a term from UX design that is meant to characterize structures, like website design structures that are meant to make you click on things that you don't want to click on. I don't wanna allow all. I want to not allow them. So I'm gonna go over here where the cancel button is normally located rather than the confirm button and click it because I don't want them to have my data. Sorry. That is like, it makes me so mad. Gonna delete the node. Delete the node. Come on. Give me the ability to scroll. Ha! There we go. That's not what I wanted to type. Overflow. Scroll. Overflow. Scroll. How many things do I have to put overflow scroll on? Yeah, save my preferences being gray. I don't endorse doing this. That would not be a thing I would ever endorse. Definitely not. Let me edit your damn code so that I can see this. Ah! Please? Please? Haha, that worked. I got it. Sorry. That was very exciting for me. Oh, this isn't me trying to make it pretty. This is me trying to see the damn article. Give me one moment. I finally got it, so I can read it. Open with Firefox. My beautiful, beautiful thing. Okay. Is the reverse location search warrant heading in the wrong direction? A reverse location search warrant is an emerging tool used by law enforcement officials to virtually canvass a geographical area during a certain period of time. The process essentially consists of two phases. The government first applies for the reverse location search warrant to narrow the pool of potential cell phones in the vicinity of the alleged criminal activity under investigation. In the second phase of the search, the government applies for a subsequent warrant to search more detailed usage records for those individuals that the government can identify based on the initial reverse locational search. Websites that suck because they think it makes sense to hide things rather than simply not display them, so you can bypass the paywall if you know a bit of HTML. Yeah! It's one of my favorite things to do. Wall Street Journal is very, very good about not letting you do that, by the way, but most of the others you can get around it. We're just going to grab this whole definition because I think it's quite good. And I'm going to add an attribution to Daniel Gelb in case I wind up using it for a TikTok later. Daniel Gelb. Okay. I do want to read this, but I will save it for a different day because I'm supposed to be doing definitions like a boring person doing research and doing actual assignments. Damn. But yeah, these are really scary. This is why it's advised for you to not take your personal phone to protests anymore. Obviously, there are trade-offs there. Like you want to be able to call for help, etc. But yeah, there's a reason that people recommend leaving your phone at home now. Panopticon. This was a kind of prison that was invented in the 1800s, where you have a bunch of dudes. You have like all of the cells kind of in an arc, with like an open window towards the middle. And then in the middle, you have a watchtower with guards. And that way one guard can like be monitoring multiple different cells at a time. But it's also structured so that the criminals can't see out. So they can't see if the guard is watching them yet or not. So they have to assume that they are always being watched. This term is also now used for modern day society quite frequently, of like, you can't know when you're being monitored. So we'll put a more thorough definition in there tomorrow, I think. Data fiduciary. This is a cool concept. So a fiduciary is someone who has a legal obligation to act in your best interests. So we already have fiscal fiduciaries, or financial fiduciaries that are established by law. An existing legal example is a financial fiduciary. So, like, if you have a financial advisor who is, like, actually a licensed professional, they're going to be a financial fiduciary. They have a responsibility to act in your best interests. The chief positions in a company have a fiduciary responsibility to the stakeholders of that company to act in their stakeholders' best interests financially. So to do things to optimize profit. The suggestion for a data fiduciary is is to create a similar role for organizations like Facebook, etc., that have a mandatory legal obligation to act in your best interests where your data is concerned. And we already have the legal framework for fiduciaries. So, cool idea. Homomorphic encryption. I don't remember what this means. A form of encryption that allows computations to be performed on encrypted data without having to decrypt it. Homomorphic encryption eliminates the need for processing data in the clear, thereby preventing attacks that would enable a hacker to access that data while it's being processed. Okay, so how does that work? I'm going to steal this definition, and hopefully the text will give us more explanation as to how this works. If it doesn't, we'll go over it more in the cryptography week. Differential privacy. So privacy, I believe that this is like you can have different levels of privacy for different people. Yeah, this is a good definition. Differential privacy is an approach for providing privacy while sharing information about a group of individuals by describing the patterns within the group while withholding information about specific individuals. This is done by making arbitrary small changes to individual data that do not change the statistics of interest. Thus, the data cannot be used to infer much about any individual. Difficulty there is if you're actually changing the raw data, there might be things that you didn't care about that you wind up caring about, and that's harder to protect against. VPNs. VPN is a virtual private network. They can be used to... They can sometimes be used to disguise, to obviate your internet activity from your ISP. Yeah, it's a tunnel. Basically, a VPN is a network that you can connect to wirelessly that grants you access to that network to act as though you are a part of that network. Yeah, you can access the internet from one place, but it seems like you're coming from another end of the tunnel. So there are a number of reasons you would use a VPN. The most common reason that you hear about people suggesting using VPNs is to like hide from your internet service provider. The other reasons that you might use a VPN are, say you have a server of family photos or music or such in your home, and it's not freely accessible via the internet, but you want to be able to access it when you're out and about at work or in a cafe or something. You could set up a virtual private network that you could log into from outside your home, so that you could access things that are connected to your personal network at home. So to access that server of photos or your printer or whatever. Yeah, one of the most common applications that you see for consumers like us is to lie about locations for Netflix or for Spotify. But truthfully, I think that the most common use of a VPN is work from home. Like if you need to be able to access certain servers or printers or data that is only saved on certain servers that are like physically at your place of work, you access those via VPN. Intranet over the internet, exactly. I don't want to go into specific regulations. We'll talk about what these specific regulations are. And then scraping data. This one, I think we're going to have a hard time nailing down a specific definition for. But basically, it's combing the web and pulling information off of it. I am about to write a program that does this for TikTok. I am going to be scraping some data about videos that have been posted to a certain subsect of TikTok accounts since about a month before the heightening of this most recent Israeli-Palestinian conflict. For the purpose of showing that bombings and things were happening prior to the September 7th starting point. So I'll let you know how it goes. My guess is that I've waited a little too long and that some of the videos have been removed, but fingers crossed. Data scraping, in its most general form, refers to the technique in which a computer program extracts data from the output generated from another program. Data scraping commonly manifests in web scraping, which is the process of using an application to extract valuable information from a website. This is how search engines work. They send web crawlers out there. Web crawlers are programs that scrape data from websites and decide whether it should be added to their catalog. And that, I think, is where we're going to stop for the day. So we've written a lot of definitions. I'm going to be posting these definitions in the Discord soon. Water a thirsty plant. Thank you.
She's quite thirsty.
I should trim off the dead parts of this plant. I think I say that every time. I wonder if I ever will. What else have I got to say? As a reminder, this program is made possible by contributions from viewers like you, and I have rent due at the end of the month. That could be a separate channel points purchase. That is a good idea. I will look at adding that. Trim a mostly dead plant. I don't have that many of them. Maybe forcibly make me do a house task that I've been putting off for over a month. Yeah, so things to keep your eyes posted for over in the Discord I'm going to be posting these vocab sheets. I am hopefully finally at last uploading the first VOD to my YouTube channel for your guys' reviews, for you to review. So feel free to check that out. I had to do a lot of messing with the audio to get it to work. So fingers crossed I will find some time in the next few days to optimize my mic so that I don't have to do that as much in the future and can post them more rapidly. And then tomorrow we will be reading the second chapter of Firewall's Don't Stop Dragons. Oh, that's weird. Let's move that down here so that that's in front. Okay. And with that, I think we are probably going to end for the day. So farewell, enjoy life, and I'll see you here tomorrow at 11:30. Congratulations, Marcy. Good job landing on the leaf pile, and have a lovely rest of your day.